Hey, I am Madison McFerrin, singer, songwriter, and producer, and I am here in Amoeba, San Francisco, and this is What's in My Bag.
Gotta get the fuck up out of here. Gotta get back home.
I grabbed New Amerykah Part 2 by Erykah Badu. It's one of my absolute favorite records, definitely my favorite of hers. I think from the first time I heard 20 Feet Tall, which is what opens it up, I was just fully obsessed. I love this record so much, I had to get it.
Get off my knees, Amerykah, I'm 20 feet tall.
I struggled with this next one because I am a huge Beatles fan. I actually randomly met Paul McCartney at a party like 2 months ago, and I nearly shit my pants. You know, it was a moment. And I had a difficult time figuring out which Beatles record I wanted, but I ultimately went with the White Album. It's the first album of theirs that really got me into them as a young adult, outside of just like, oh, my parents are playing the Beatles in the house. This was the first record that like I had it in my car driving to school, high school, and it's got so many classics on it. I love it so much.
I don't know why nobody told you.
This is one of my all-time favorite Herbie Hancock records, Headhunters. I chose this one specifically because Watermelon Man is the song that I hope people hear in their head when they see me walk by. That's like the mood. Like it used to be in college, the song I would listen to on the walk to the first day of school, because I was like, this is me. This is what I'm trying to embody. Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, definitely the first album of theirs that made me a huge Tribe fan, and was another one that I was just like, had it in my CD changer in my car driving to school, and became thoroughly obsessed with the production, the lyricism. It's just an all-time record for me, for sure. It's so amazing. I mean, Electric Relaxation, come on.
Street poetry is my everyday, but yo, I gotta stop when you drop my weight. If I was working at the club, you would.
The newest of the bunch, none other than Queen Bee herself. I am not ashamed to say that this has become one of my favorite records of all time. I listened to this album nonstop for like 2 months, maybe even 3 months. I have a group chat with two of my best girlfriends, and we were like, are we still listening to Renaissance? It's just so good, front to back. I really appreciate that she took the time to make an album. You know, everybody's always like singles, but this is like, you have to listen to the whole thing. And I appreciate that so much. And she really snatched and snapped on this one.
The top of the morning I shine.
We're gonna go for a little pivot, take a step away from the LP to the CD. This was the final edition. I just saw it behind me. This is No Strings Attached by NSYNC. And I think it's actually fitting that it's on CD because that's what I had it on. Going to, I don't know, first grade, second grade. I actually saw this concert as an 8-year-old and really thought that Justin Timberlake was going to see 8-year-old me in the crowd and, you know, want to date me, which I didn't realize at the time is very problematic. I tried to bring in a poster with my phone number on it, and my mom said, absolutely not. You cannot do that. But I did keep the ticket for a very long time. And one time I ran into Joey Fatone at the Newark airport, and I told him that factoid that I had the ticket, and he said, I'm sorry.
Baby, bye, bye, bye. Don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two.
This is my favorite Michael Jackson record, Off the Wall. Bit of a controversial take. I prefer Off the Wall over Thriller from an album perspective. You know, I think Thriller has better singles, but I think Off the Wall is a better album, in my opinion. I totally respect the fact that other people will disagree with that and might not even choose Off the Wall or Thriller. But Rock With You, Off the Wall, I Can't Help It. I sing I Can't Help It all the time. That bass line, incredible. Quincy did the thing.
I can't help it. If I wanted to, I wouldn't help it. Even if I could, I can't help it.
This is one of my favorites, Jamiroquai, Traveling Without Moving. I really got into this record in college, although my older brother Taylor, he was playing this record a lot when it came out, but I was like 7, and then I revisited it as an adult, and the whole thing is so good. Just like the melodies that he comes up with are, especially as a vocalist, I appreciate J. Key's melodies so much. And just the grooves. All Right is such a good song. That song can be played multiple times in a row. This was also another, like, I don't know which album to go with from this band, but I ultimately went with Kid A. And I chose this one because it has some of my favorite songs of theirs. I actually did a cover of Everything in Its Right Place, and it was very difficult. It's a song that sounds like it's kind of simple, but then you try and cover it, and it turns out that there's like 3 different time signatures and all of these different things. But it was a very fun challenge. But I just love the sound design across the board, particularly on this record, but just like Radiohead in general. I think that they are definitely one of my probably top 5 favorite bands. Last but not least, we have a book, and this is actually one of the only books that I've read multiple times, and it is the autobiography of Malcolm X. I think it's an incredibly important book for everyone to read, honestly, but it really just shows you the transformation of this incredible human being who was taken from us too soon. And obviously Alex Haley is an amazing writer as well, so the fact that they were able to come together on this. But I saw it on the shelf. I feel like maybe I'm due for a 3rd or 4th reading. I can't even remember how many times I've read this book at this point, but I always learn something new each time, and he's definitely an inspiration.
I finished the 8th grade in Mason, Michigan. My high school was the Black Ghetto of Roxbury, Massachusetts. My college was in the streets of Harlem, and my master's was taken in prison. Mr. Muhammad has taught me that I never need to fear any man's intellect who tries to defend or to justify the white man's criminal record against the non-white man.
And thank you so much for shopping with us.
Thank you for having me.
Remember